let's talk a little bit about the head trash, because this is something that this directly relates to sales, by the way, right? Like as a salesperson, let's talk about that real quick. It's like let's say you're prospecting somebody, right? Or you've worked on a bunch of projects for somebody and they won't call you back, and you're thinking, oh man, they probably hate me, right? Like you got a little head trash in there. You're like talking yourself. You got to like talk yourself off the ledge, or you need to go to myself or Todd or somebody else on the team and be like, what would you do in this scenario? And then you get somebody else's outside perspective and you think to yourself, you're like, actually, it's not that bad. They're probably just busy, right? That's a common piece of head trash that salespeople get. They're like, why is this prospect not calling me back? Do they hate me? And it's like, no. They probably are dealing with a flooded bathroom, a leaky roof, and they've got 1,300 other properties that they're dealing with all these things on. So they're just busy. So, as a salesperson, it's like we deal with that every day. And it's like you got to continue. You just got to keep pushing through it. And sometimes you got to talk with other people to get you to like get out of that mentality.
For sure.
Now during the marathon, and I experienced this during the ultra marathon too, there were mile markers, right? Like if those of you who have ran a marathon, you probably can relate to this, or have ran any significant amount of miles. Like I would say like 10 miles plus is very significant, right? And so there's different mile markers, and I would say like during the marathon, it was probably for me, it was like mile 16 or 17, I started to talk to myself about, why am I doing this? Like, I hate myself for doing this right now.
You're seeking the sign. You're like turning every corner, be like, that mile marker, the next one has to be there, and it's like another like 3/4 of the mile away, and you're just like, oh, come on, it's gotta be there.
I gotta be or like you start miscounting, like
you're delirious and you tell yourself you have 9 miles when you actually have 11. That's what I did.
Well, like, let's talk about it. Like, so that head trash piece of it, like I would love to hear how you guys got yourself through the head trash piece of it, because that's honestly like your knees are hurting. As Eminem says, what does he say? Knees weak. I don't remember. I'm just gonna say. I was gonna quote Eminem.
Knees weak.
Jesse, don't
arms
laugh at
are
me.
heavy.
Yeah, there you go.
Got vomit on my sweater already.
But like your knees are hurting, right? Like you're talking to yourself. You're like, man, I'm only 9 miles away, and actually, you're 13. You're like, ah, shoot, I miscounted. Like, how did you guys get through that head trash piece of it, Paige?
I think you just have to have the ability to stay focused under pressure. I mean, having the people around you, in the race, regardless of if I was running the first 13 with you or kind of how you were just like watching someone nearby to you and kind of staying focused on a goal. You always have to have that goal and try to keep just kind of working towards it. And
One
I think just being focused and patient, that was my key. It definitely is easier when you have that team around you. And I don't think at any point, even once you left me, I felt like I didn't have a team around me, because the whole city was my team. You know what I mean? I looked over and I saw someone, it was probably mile 17. You guys probably saw the sign too. It was remember your why. And I was like, geez, I needed that like so incredibly bad right now, because I wanted to stop. I definitely walked. Yeah, call an Uber. There's people having signs everywhere like, I'll call you an Uber. But I wanted to walk. I didn't want to walk for long, but I definitely gave myself the opportunity to walk. But when I saw that sign saying, remember your why, and, thought back to Laura and how powerful her conversation that, she had the opportunity to speak at the carb load dinner the night before, and how emotional she got about her niece, and like how much of an impact like we actually made on people with cystic fibrosis and fundraising for these children. And so that got me through. But I think with anything, just staying focused on the goal. And kind of side note, but my watch died like probably mile 13, I don't know. And kind of going back to staying focused, I had no idea if I was running 30-minute miles or 12-minute miles. I had no idea, and it was a mental battle. Just trying to hold myself accountable and just working towards that finish line the entire time. And I stayed focused, and also had the fear that like my mom and dad were going to be around the corner and see me walking. So I was like, I don't want them to see me walking. So just tried to keep powering through. But I totally agree with you. The head trash, you kind of have to get that out of the way, whether it's sales or in something hard that you try to tackle in your life, and just Focus on the end goal. The end goal will come.
One step in front of the other.
One step in front of the other.
There's something, and that's what I thought about the entire time. I'll get to you in just a second, Mark. I'll ask you the same question. But, for me, I was like, it was one step in front of the other. I was like, listen, I'm not finishing this. Like, I'm either going to finish this walking or running or jogging or something. Like, either way, I'm going to finish it. And there's no other way to get through this, right? There was something that was super impactful for me. I don't remember exactly what the sign said, but there was a woman, an elderly woman, who was sitting in a wheelchair. I don't know if you guys saw it, maybe mile like 14, 15, something like that, who was holding a sign, and it said something along the lines of like, be grateful that you can run,
or
have this pain or something like that. And I was like, dude, yeah, I like that was, I was like, okay, I can like my IT bands hurt like hell right now, like hurt, but like this lady it would switch places with me in a heartbeat. Like if she could just run the marathon one more time, she would. She would switch places instantly. So I was like, all right, I can keep running.
Yeah.
Like this pain in my knees, this pain in my calves.
Temporary.
It's temporary. Yeah. And so for me, that was so impactful. I'm like, this lady would switch places with me instantly.
For sure. Yeah.